Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try something new on the channel now. I'm going to bring you everyday superheroes so that you can hear their stories and see what's going on with real people. And today, I have an everyday superhero and with us right now. We have an author, a mother, a chef. She does it all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. Her name is
Chef Akeema Banks. How y'all doing, everybody?
All right. So, Chef Banks, what do you typically do for a living?
What I typically do for a living, I graduated and I got my degree in culinary arts, so I am a chef. I am also an author of 2 cookbooks. Will be 3 coming up by the grace of God this
We
December.
will have links in the description.
Yes, we will. I am also, outside of being a chef, like I said, I'm an author of 2 cookbooks, 3rd coming up. I am a mother of 1 son that I love dearly. And outside of when I'm not working as a chef, I bartend and I serve. That's part-time.
All right. So what you like about it?
What do I like about which job, as a chef or
Just
as a
in
bartender?
general.
Okay, so what I like about being a chef, I love food. I graduated culinary school in 2013 as raising a son by myself, and I just love food. Any and everything about food, the way that you can create dishes, the way that you can make them hot, cold, savory, sweet, spicy, all different ways that you can create dishes. I've always loved food because that's also the way that I was raised in Mississippi by my grandmothers. Always cooked. From Bogota, Mississippi, my grandmother had land and she had a garden and always cooked everything farm to table, fresh jellies, fresh everything. I love her tea cookies. My grandmother, May, she always cooked pecan pies straight from scratch. So watching my grandmothers cook while I was younger is what inspired me to become a chef.
All right. So outside of work-related things, what gets you out of bed every day? What makes you tick?
Outside of work-related things, what makes me get up out the bed and just tick is that 16-year-old son of mine. I love him. If it wasn't for him, I know that I'll still be going. I would be the person that I am. But being a chef, being an author, me knowing that I have my son is what keeps me going. I know that each and every day that I wake up, I wouldn't want to live life without him. I wouldn't want anyone to take care of him. And I know anyone wouldn't take care of him as much as I do. So that boy of mine make me tick, even on good days and bad days. He makes me tick and he just makes me keep going. And me knowing that tomorrow I get a chance to reset and do something better than what I did the day before, it just keeps me going.
Okay. In your first book, what was the inspiration behind your first book?
So my first book is on Amazon and also my second cookbook is both on Amazon. I self-published the both of those. My first cookbook is titled Freaky Deaky Treats. So what inspired me to do that cookbook is I'm getting better with age, as far as everyone is. I wanted to do something different with the food. Like I said, how much I love food, I wanted to incorporate sex with food. So I have recipes in my cookbook like his micro penis in a blanket, or the best neck soup, or pussy inside of me quesadillas. So I love food and I love sex, and hey, I wanted to incorporate both of those 2 things together.
Fair enough. Well, as I stated, those links will be in the description. So please go support Chef Banks.
Please.
There are some very interesting recipes in that book.
It is.
And I highly recommend them. So the third book, can you talk about what that's going to be? Or is it along the same lines?
I can. The third cookbook will be titled Eating Better with Age. As I mentioned about my first cookbook, we are all getting better with age. Each and every day, we're aging to get better. In 2018, I had my restaurant in Mississippi, and I had to close it down for a little bit because I found out that I have ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. So, due to battling Crohn's disease, IBS, ulcerative colitis, a lot of things that I used to eat and that I grew up on, I no longer could eat. So I said, what am I going to do the healthy way to be able to still live and enjoy food without throwing up and going to the restroom so much. So I started changing my diet. And in that cookbook, you'll see a lot of food that I was eating from when I was younger that was okay for my stomach. But like I said, when we start getting better with age in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we have to be more health conscious. So you'll see a lot of recipes in there that are for vegans, that are for gluten-free, anybody who was gluten-free, keto diets, just great recipes that I've learned over the years that has helped me continuously eat and live better with age.
All right. So, how do you feel about this current economy?
Ooh, the current economy. So, the current economy that we're living in, I feel like it is, whoa, nothing like what I grew up on. Like I said, I grew up in Mississippi, and in Mississippi, I was raised around grandparents, cousin, where we had land. You could grow things, farm the table. Land back in the day wasn't even that much. Everything now is very, very expensive. Raising a child, when I first had my son at the age of 26 in the year of 2010, my rent then was $800, and now I'm paying almost $2,000. So the economy these days has changed, but gracefully, by the grace of God, we are now able to have more than one hustles. That's why I have more than one hustle, because I want to keep up with the economy. I want to still be able to live comfortably. I want to be able to take care of my son comfortably. I just want to be able to live because the economy is nothing like how it used to be. The food, the technology, the everything is nothing like how it used to be. I do wish we can go to some things back in the day, like where we were raised on, but I know in time you have to change. So the economy nowadays has changed for the worse, but you got to have more than one hustle, I would suggest, so that you can continuously live comfortably, especially as a single parent.
Okay. You mentioned your Mississippi roots.
Hmm.
Can you talk about what it was like growing up there? Some fond memories you have? I see your
Okay.
face lit up.
So growing up in Mississippi, it was some good memories and it was some bad memories. I was raised by a single mom as well. She had me at the age of 15 and my dad was 17, and that was a little different. But by the grace of God, I grew up with a lot of cousins, and they loved me. They loved me unconditionally. Mississippi is a small town where I was raised in Utica and Bogue Chitto. So by that being said and done, everybody knew just about everybody. With my mom having me at such a young age, my grandmother on my mom's side, she helped and she took care of me a whole lot. As a single grandmother, she was raising 7 kids of her own as well too, on top of raising me while my mom was still young. So growing up in Mississippi, it taught me how to survive. It taught me how to not be zero tolerance for bullshit, not settle for anything. And it also taught me to get away from Mississippi because it doesn't have as much growth as it should over the years. I'm thankful for Mississippi because I learned how to cook, I learned how to love. I've had my son, I learned where I am today, but Mississippi just needs to grow a little bit more. If you want to retire, Mississippi is the place to be, I would say. But other than that, growing up in Mississippi was some good days and some bad days, but I made it through all of those days.
What sparked your decision to leave?
What sparked my decision to leave Mississippi is giving birth to a son. I had my son at 26. I realized that he was very different from all of the kids at the school that he was going to in Mississippi. My son got spit in his face when he was in the second grade, and I didn't like that very much. And I just knew that I didn't want my son to continuously be in a school or be in a area where it wasn't growth. And that was mainly in Jackson, Mississippi. I didn't care for Jackson because that was the capital. The capital itself was not growing. Other areas like Ridgeland, Mississippi, Madison, Mississippi, Pearl, Mississippi, Byram as well too, were growing areas, but those areas in Mississippi were more expensive for a single mom as well too. So I decided to move to Georgia because I knew for a fact coming back and forth here as a little girl, my father always lived here and I've always had great memories here, and it was always better schools and better days here in Georgia.
Okay. You mentioned had his face spat in.
I mentioned what again?
That he had his face spat in.
Uh-huh.
I assume that was a racist thing.
It wasn't a racist thing. It was a thing because he was different and he did not want to talk to the kid. And at that time, that was his first time being at a public school. I raised him here in Georgia. I conceived him here in Georgia. And that was my first time going back to Mississippi, opening up a restaurant at the same time too. And that was my first time putting him in a public school in Mississippi. And it was a little boy that was upset that my son didn't want to talk to him and that he was different from him. So I'm not going to say racist. I'm going to say maybe envious, jealousy, maybe. Yeah.
Have you experienced any racism out there?
Oh, yes. Mississippi.
Why am I not surprised?
It's my first Mother's Day. I can honestly say that was the first time I encountered some racism. My first Mother's Day, I was working at Bonefish Grill in Madison, Mississippi. I graduated culinary school, serving and bartending at Bonefish Grill in Madison, Mississippi. My Mother's Day, I worked there all day. That was the first time I ever worked a double shift. I worked that double shift, and we had a customer come in with his family, his mom, and it was probably 6 of them. And he called me a stupid black nigger because his food took too long to come out. That was the first time in my life I've ever bit my tongue and realized that it's not worth it. If anyone knows me, before I became a mother, if you ever did anything like that, I would be very, very upset and I would go 0 to 100 real quick. But again, I was in Madison, Mississippi, and Madison, Mississippi is not a place where you want to even retaliate because the police would have sided with the white customer before they would have sided with me. But luckily, I also had a team of good managers that was there, and they made the man leave the store.
Okay.
And he only took me $1, and their bill was like $292. But luckily, I had a table that was right in front of them that saw how great I worked and saw how the man was racist, and they tipped me $50. So
it all
yes.
ended well.
Yes.
Wow. Well, let's skip up a little. What's your thought on the COVID-19 situation? How did you feel when that pandemic started? What was that like for you?
Well, like I said, this economy these days are nothing like back in the day. I do know that the coronavirus, when I heard about it in 2020, about it first coming out, I do know coronavirus was first talked about back in the 1960 years ago. So when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, this isn't real. But then they mentioned that it was a different strand. It was the COVID-19 strand. During the whole time of 2020, I was working. I was a manager at Chili's during that time, and it was scary. It was scary. The world itself, I thought every day that, hey, I might get sick. something. I might bring something back home to my son. I just didn't know what to do during that COVID pandemic time. My son was out of school all the way up until his ninth grade high school year because I was so scared of what's going to happen to my son or what's going to happen to me. My son caught COVID one time, and I caught COVID one time, and the doctors didn't know how did we not have any symptoms or anything because we were asymptomatic. And it was just a scary stage going through the COVID, and especially now after just hearing an interview about the Dr. Fauci pleading the fifth over 50 times, fifth. I didn't care for him doing that and finding out that COVID-19 vaccination was a fake. It was a fluke. It was all a money scam. And so many of my family members and family died from COVID. So many of my family members, they took the COVID vaccination. They took all of the boosters, and I didn't care for it, and I still don't care for it. And it's still scary that we have people in the world that's creating illnesses in clinics to kill people. So I didn't care for it, still don't care for it, and I'm just going to continue to stay prayed up. That's all we can do, I can do, is continue to stay prayed up.
Okay, so you are absolutely against the COVID vaccine.
I was absolutely against it. I'm still against it. Neither my son nor I, we didn't take the COVID vaccination. During that period of time, my father asked me, "Hey, Akeema, why didn't you take it?" I was like, "Well, Dad, I don't see the reason of taking it because I didn't get sick or anything." So he asked me one question. He said, "Well, go talk to your doctor and see what your doctor have to say about it." I went to speak with my doctor about it, and my doctor explained, "Hey, if you never took the flu vaccination, you shouldn't take the COVID vaccination because a lot of people that are getting the COVID that were getting the COVID were the ones that got the flu vaccinations." So I listened to her advice. Neither me or my son, we never took it. So yes, I was against it. I'm still against it.
Okay, so listening to this, a lot of people are going to say, oh, another anti-vaxxer. Are you an anti-vaxxer or are you just against that one vaccine?
I'm against that one vaccine. When I was growing up, I did have to take vaccinations, hepatitis A, hepatitis B vaccination, all of the things that we was raised upon. I did take all of those vaccinations, and so did my son as well too. What I don't understand about some of the vaccinations, like I mentioned, the hepatitis A vaccination, I was vaccinated for when I was a young girl. Now that I'm 42 years old, it is saying that I am positive for the hepatitis A, which is a foodborne illness. So by that being said and done, I already have ulcerative colitis, IBS. So when I get sick with a flare-up due to me having a positive reaction now at this age of hepatitis A, it messes with my stomach more. I asked the doctor, should I get vaccinated again for hepatitis A? She said, no. If you was vaccinated for it as a young child, you shouldn't because the vaccination, the fluids or the chemicals and or whatever they call it are still in my system as well too. So I don't really understand a lot of these vaccinations. I did that because I was younger and that is what I was raised on. So I'm not anti-vaccination. I am I didn't like COVID. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
That's a very important distinction. In my personal opinion, I agree with that distinction. I took it, but I agree with the distinction because a lot of people will label you as anti-vax, but you get yourself vaxxed, you get your kids vaxxed, you get your pets vaxxed. How can you call someone anti-vax when they've done all of that just because they oppose one? So I absolutely understand. So you mentioned Dr. Fauci and him pleading the fifth on a bunch of things. What type of questions was he pleading the fifth on?
Oh my. So I am not a news person because the way I was raised, you're always hearing bad news on the news. And this one day, which was just last week, my friend called me and said, "Hey, look at the Fox 4 News, and you are here about the vaccination and everything," because I just didn't understand. You heard him. I heard him plead the fifth too. So, Dr. Fauci, are you saying that was the vaccination? Was it invented? Well, at first he was saying that it was invented in the wet area. Then he played the fifth. Then he was saying that was it invented in the lab? He played the fifth to that. So, Dr. Fauci, can you say anything about the COVID vaccinations, the boosters? He played the fifth to that. He played the fifth to everything. What Dr. Fauci, why did you have the kids shut down schools during the COVID pandemic? He played the fifth to absolutely every question that was asked when it came to the COVID vaccination. The only senator that went up there and that made a little sense and didn't agree with anything he had to say, if I'm not mistaken, his name was Senator Marino. The whole news was a lot, and it was heartbreaking that someone that had over 7 employees giving him information, he used them and was getting money through their names. I just think it's all crazy. I don't know all of the facts, so I don't want to say everything. I just know you can look it up. It was on the news. Dr. Fauci was this all was a money scam to him. He pled the fifth to everything. He was able to get over $150,000 for so many things. It was all a scam to him, and it's sad because so many people died due to the COVID pandemic. Sad.
Yeah, that's some that's some pretty heavy hitting stuff right there.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, what else are you passionate about in life right now?
Overall, I'm passionate about, like I said, food and loving the ones that love me. I would say at first, I care so much for people and I just have a big heart, and I do, I still do. But at this point in time in my life, I'm trying to learn to love more on self. I'm passionate about food. I'm passionate about loving my family. I'm passionate about giving love to the people, the family, the ones who love on me. So I'm passionate about love, spreading love. I'm passionate about spreading food. I'm passionate about teaching people how to cook food more so than going out to eat as much as a lot of people do, because the same amount of money that you can spend on food, guess what? You can go in the kitchen and cook. I know I cook 5 days out of the week. So I'm passionate about food, love, and continuously living life healthy.
Hmm. Well, let's talk about a few current events. Have you heard about the controversy with that Young Miami song, Spin That,
Yes, I have heard about that
and the
controversy.
situation with India Arie and Trick Daddy? What are your
Okay.
thoughts on that?
So I heard about the controversy, and I love India Irie. I love Young Miami. One thing for certain, I can say India Irie is a different age group as Young Miami. Everyone is going to have their opinion. It's like an asshole. Everyone is going to have it. So, by that being said and done, Young Miami, she came up with a trending song that she knew that a lot of people were going to like, that was going to sound good. And just to be honest, I just got my 16-year-old son ready for the 11th grade, and I was sure looking for them scammers and them boosters. So that's neither here nor there. So again, if you were about that era when you knew about scammers, boosters, whatever, everybody has a job where they got to eat. And scammers, that's what they choose to do. I don't like scammers, but boosters, I don't care for them as long as they're not stealing my stuff. But if you want to bring some stuff this way, I do have a 16-year-old. Yeah, bring it my way. He's kind of, anyway. So I just feel as if everyone has their own opinion. I remember back in the day, I grew up on Trina. You know, that's my girl, the baddest bitch. So everyone is going to have their own opinion about music. I like the song. It has a good beat to it. But again, if you're thinking about it for the younger generation that's up under her, like India Ari might be saying, you know, you just have to be able to speak to your kids or speak to the younger generation and just let them know that it's a certain way that you go about doing different things.
Okay. Well, since we're on music, who are some artists you like? Who do you listen to?
All day, every day. One of my favorite ones, I'm gonna say, Mississippi. Akeem Ali. His favorite song out, my favorite song by him right now is Mesh and Egyptian Cottons. That's my boy. Outside of him, Larry June. You can listen to some Larry June all day, every day, and you're just gonna be peaceful and drink you some tea and go water your plants. 2 Chainz, I'm always a fan of 2 Chainz all day, every day. And if we're gonna go to listen to some good lyrical music, Sacred Souls. Can I call you Rose? Can I call you Rose? I love Sacred Souls. I love some Outkast. I know they're not making music like how they used to, but I've always been an
Outkast is
Outkast.
everlasting.
Yes, always. Always gonna love me some Outkast. I love October London, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa. Can't wait to, you know, French in hell with the both of them. So yes, I love a few different genres of music, but those are a few of my top right there.
Yeah. Akeem made a post recently stating that if everyone in Jackson doesn't come out and support him, if that show does not sell out, but his other shows sell out, he's not coming back to Jackson.
That's the reason why I left Mississippi.
Do you
I
feel
hate to
he's
say
cocky for
it.
that?
I feel like he's honest. I grew up, someone that I saw that I look up to when I was younger was Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey came to Mississippi in Kosciuszko, Mississippi when I was 12 years old. And she opened a group of habitat houses. She shook my hand and said, I can't wait to see you when you get older. You're going to do a great job. I always wonder why Oprah Winfrey did not come back to Mississippi so much. Why come back to so many towns when so many people don't even support you? How many people, like Akeem Ali said, that's where he was born and raised. Why keep on going back to a city or a state where people don't even support you? I opened my restaurant in Mississippi in 2018 by the grace of God, and I'm thankful for it. Indians gave me the restaurant. I'm so thankful for Robbie Singh in Mississippi, gave me a chance to have my first restaurant, and he's an Indian. You have so many people of your own race. You have so many people that you've been around your whole life in the states of Mississippi. They don't support you. They want a handout. So I don't knock Akeem Ali for what he's saying. Do I think he's cocky? No, I think he's telling the truth. Go to where you're supported. And I have been supported for a while here in Georgia, and that's why I'm still here.
Yeah. I agree with your take on Akeem because right now he is one of my favorite rappers.
Yes, he
Like,
is.
dude is really nice with it. So,
He is. Check out Akeem Ali. He's good.
absolutely. Have you heard of the situation with Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty?
Are we talking about the situation where Pooh Shiesty just got out of jail and he robbed him?
Yes.
So I know I've heard of it, but regardless of I think it was stupid. Like you just got out of jail and then you're gonna rob this man. Like I say, have more than one hustle. Robbing and stealing, killing people like that. What goes around comes around. It's gonna always come back around. Not unless he just wanted to go back to jail because he like boys. So that's all I gotta say.
That's the only way I could see someone with a high profile that
Like
keeps
him.
going back to jail.
Yeah. Unless you like boys. You know, unless there's something in there you like. You like it, I love it. I don't knock anybody who like boys. I don't. Don't knock anybody who like girls. Everybody got a life. But speaking on that, that was just crazy. You just got out. You could have had you a whole new beginning, everything, but you was stupid. So, hey, you made your bed, you lay in it.
Yeah. A lot of people are calling Gucci a snitch, but the reports are showing that it was actually his manager who was, I mean, excuse me, not his manager, his security that actually told. Do you feel like that makes a difference, or should it even matter?
I wouldn't. So, one thing, when you get to a certain point in life, and I didn't understand this either until I continuously grow and I'm getting better with age, you can be a snitch, you can be whatever it is. If it's your property, if it's your stuff, tell on that person. It's yours. What you want somebody to? I don't even have as much as Gucci Man does. And if somebody broke in my house right now and I saw you on a Ring camera, I don't care if you was my brother, you my sister, you my mama, I'm telling on you. Because I work hard for everything that's in my house. So I don't consider that being a snitch if he told on somebody that broke into his place, even if it was his security guard, even if it was his wife, his neighbor, whoever it is. He worked hard for his stuff. His wife worked hard for their stuff. They have kids, they have a family. Why come take something when you can work hard and get it yourself?
Totally agree. But, that's just how the internet goes.
That's just how the world goes.
Mm-hmm. So, Mystikal ended up getting sentenced. What are your thoughts on that?
So I didn't know Mystikal got sentenced. If I'm not mistaken, was it for rape?
Mm-hmm.
I knew I grew up on Mystikal.
Once,
I grew up on
twice,
Mystikal.
3 times a rapist.
I don't. If he did it, he needs to be under the ground. How you going to take something from somebody? You a grown man, and there's so many women and men out here that just giving it away. I don't agree on anybody taking something from anybody that's unconsensual.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about that. I don't care if I grew up on him or not. Do your time. Stay in there for the rest of your life since you want to take something from somebody. That's how I feel.
Yeah, because the first time he was charged, he pleaded down to sexual battery and got 6 years.
Mm.
He comes out, and in 2012, he gets caught again and charged.
Oh,
Now, the evidence wasn't enough for a conviction, so it never went to trial and the charges were dropped. But then this third time in 2023,
he deserved whatever was coming to him.
yeah, and I was a huge fan of his, but I'm sorry, but I'm not like the R. Kelly fans. I don't feel that making great music, absolves you of
You're correct.
those types of crimes.
You're correct. And I still listen to your music. But does that mean that I like you? No, I don't. I don't at all. And I will listen to music that's in the past. Even R. Kelly, what he did, it was wrong as well too. Do I still listen to some of R. Kelly's music? Yes, I do. I do. I'm not going to say I do. But do I feel like what he did is wrong? Yes. And I know if anybody want to say, well, how are you? Are you contradiction? I am a victim of being molested as well too. So I've been there and I've done that. Will I still support somebody? Like God said, you have to forgive a person, never forget it. Never forget it. Forgive. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. He is exactly where he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Pleaded guilty on this last one. First, he tried to fight it for a while, but he pleaded guilty.
And what was it for again?
This time it was the big RAP3.
Yeah, no.
He pleaded guilty. And when they told him he could be facing, the amount of time, I believe it was 20 years. Don't quote me on that one. But he then tried to run that plea back.
Yeah, no.
He tried to say, I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know.
No. It's wrong. It's so many, again, like I said, women, men, it's just sex is just thrown out here these days. So much to the extent where women that's not throwing it out here, like me and so many other women, they're making people think that, hey, it's okay. So I don't think that no one should ever have sex unconsensually with anybody.
Agreed. All right. So we learned quite a bit about you today. And is there anything else you would like to say to everyone?
I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening. Again, I am Chef Akeema Banks. If you ever want to reach out, you need anything, look me up on Instagram, Chef Akeema Love Food. That is ChefAkeemalov, as in van, ES Food. You can also find me on Instagram as Akeema Banks. Look me up. I'm Chef Akeema Banks. You'll find all good stuff. If you ever need any catering deals, let me cater to you because that's what I do.
And where do you cater?
I cater here in Georgia, but I'm also a traveling personal chef. I will come to you as well too. I rent a kitchen here in Georgia until I open my own commercial kitchen next year, and I will cater to you. I can also come to your house, do meal prep. I can do whatever you need. I'm one call. That's all. I do it.
All right. Well, that is one hell of an introduction. And with that said, we look forward to hearing from you. Hopefully, you'll come back and talk to us again.
Will do. Will do. I will.
All right. Well, on that note, enjoy. Y'all come back and see us again. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you have any more questions for Chef Akeema, please drop them in the comments so we could address that next time.
Yes.
All right.